In this video, I'm going to review the golf course Dragon Hills, located in Ratchaburi, Thailand. For those of you who reside in Hua Hin, Thailand, it is approximately 2 hours from, I mapped this from the Blueport Mall. One thing I want to point out here is that they do have bungalows, and they're about 5-6 kilometers from the golf course. Each of these buildings have 2 units in them, really cheap, it's nice enough, and it's a great place to stay and play golf. When we got here, I thought I would try and find the golf course with the drone. Never been here before, I had no idea which direction it was other than knowing it was somewhere to the left. And when you enter the Dragon Hills premise, I was not aware how huge this place is. And even though my drone was up in the air, I still cannot find the golf course. If I were to do it again, I would say it's a little bit to the left and back towards these mountains. But a lot of farmland, there's no houses, I didn't see any developments here. It would be a great place for housing and condo developments. But it's definitely an awesome place for a golf course. After a little bit, I was afraid of the drone getting lost. I didn't want to go searching out in the woods and walk through people's farmland. So I got some good footage, shows the mountains, and then I just brought the drone back. When I was flying around, I thought maybe the golf course got its name from the mountains, and maybe that there was a part of the mountains that looked like a dragon. So now I'm going to head back. I'm heading in the direction of the entrance of Dragon Hills. It really is that big. There's also a hotel across the street from the Dragon Hills land. I believe it's a Dragon Hills hotel, I'm not sure. But we like the bungalows, so that's where we stayed. Spent the night, woke up the next morning, heading to the Dragon Hills golf course. When you're driving on these streets around Dragon Hills, it doesn't look like much until you get to the clubhouse. The second floor does have a cafeteria, so this is the clubhouse of Dragon Hills. It's got an area with AC, or you can go outside. Food was fine, very good. And that's a view of the first hole and a putting green down below. There's also a snack shack down there to the bottom left. As you can see, there's a couple carts there, so you can take your cart out there, hit some putts, get yourself a Coke or water, Pepsi, Snickers, whatever you're going to do. Whenever I go to a golf course, I always want to check out the locker rooms. I'm one of those people that I bring my gear and a bag, and I will take a shower afterwards and walk out of that golf course real fresh. And this one, not super luxurious. This course is a little old, but the facilities are excellent. Has the locker rooms, full showers, everything. That's the front of the building itself. On the main floor, when you come in the front door, there's the pro shop. That's where you'd pay your green fees. And I ended up picking up a couple shirts and a golf bag because the prices were just too good. So if you're looking to go buy a couple golf shirts, then you might want to wait till you hit Dragon Hills, just because the pricing on their shirts and hats and things was excellent. I don't know if you can see it in this video, but I was taking this with my iPhone, and there's dragonflies all around me, like thousands and thousands of them. And there were spots like that all over. They just leave you alone. They're harmless, but this golf course is full of dragonflies, and I'm assuming that's how the golf course got its name. Before I tee off, I thought I would take a quick aerial view so you can see the mountains around here. Now, this was an overcast day. There wasn't really any sun. It was just sort of a flat overcast day. I'm sure the course gets a lot more beautiful than what I'm showing here just because it is overcast. But I'm taking this from the putting green and went and landed back down on the putting green. To the left, that's the first tee. And back to the clubhouse. Again, I've never played this course before when I was taking this, but just by looking at the course, I could tell this was going to be challenging, that it was going to be a great design by looking at the first hole. And this is the snack shack there. Now, I didn't get a video of the first hole. In fact, on the front nine, I have video of just the second hole and the ninth hole. So this is the second hole. Par 4, 377 yards. I play the whites. So the condition of the course this week was that it was very soggy. So when I hit my drive and the ball landed, I probably got an average of about 3 inches of roll. So the course was playing really long, and so I played it from the whites, especially because it's the first time. And I find that Thailand golf courses can be very difficult when you've never played them before, because they do have a lot of bunkers and crabgrass and bad areas. This is the 8th hole, par 5. Beautiful hole, but these two holes are pretty much what the rest of the golf course looks like. Most of the holes are just off by themselves, cut through the woods. So when you're out there for most of the golf course, you're out there by yourself. I mean, of course, if you're playing with a foursome, you're with your own group, but you rarely see anybody else just because a lot of these holes are hidden in the cut in the middle of these trees. So as you can see from this aerial view, a lot of these holes are not next to each other. They literally are off by themselves. And you might think 493 yard long par 5, but when you're getting 0 roll on your first 2 shots, it plays long. This is the 9th hole. This is a par 4. Beautiful hole. Because I didn't play here before, I was actually trying to cut it over that bunker on the left. Had no idea what the fairway looked like, but if I would have played it again, I probably would have hit 3-wood out to the right and then hit a 9 or 8 iron in. But I put it in that bunker and made the hole difficult on myself. A lot of beautiful tee spots. You can see where I'm standing. There's a tee behind there, so that shows the tee behind. How far some of these black tees are back there. This is the 10th hole, elevated green. And it plays uphill. It plays really long, like I said. It's there's no roll in the fairway, so I think I fly it these days somewhere around 245 to 250 yards, and I still had a hybrid into the hole. Ended up birdieing it. But 11th hole, par 5, beautiful hole. I drove it out right where these people are in that golf cart. I did try and go for it into by hitting a driver off the fairway, and I don't think I would do it again. I ended up putting it in the bunker, but if I had to play it over again, I'd probably hit a 3-wood or 5-wood out to the right to give myself a little wedge in. Thirteenth hole, par 5. Uphill to the right. I'd have to say the course was in excellent condition. It was very, very wet, but the fairway was in excellent condition. Now, when you got out of the fairway, it was very difficult because the grass was wet and a lot of crabgrass. So if you want to hit the fairway, that is imperative here, because if you miss the fairway, you're going to have a very, very difficult shot out of that rough. Another great par 5. I had to lay up here. Got a sand wedge in for my 3rd shot. Got a hazard in the front, so unless you're Bryce and DeChambeau, you're most likely going to have to lay up. I think the fairways look much better when you're standing on the fairway than it does from the air. Just looking down, it makes it look like there's some brown spots, but the fairway's actually in excellent condition. I don't recall ever even having a bad lie in the fairway all day long, and fortunately, I think I only missed one fairway. Otherwise, it could have been a very, very difficult day. Sixteenth hole, great par 4. I had no idea what was going to be left up there for me into the green. Now I would say that this hole you have the bunker on the right, but on the left, if you don't hit it far enough, you could hit a good drive, but not have a shot into the green. So pretty important that you're either in the middle of this fairway or a little bit to the right. I hit it on the left side of the fairway, and fortunately I got far enough to get past those trees. I found the greens to be excellent, rolled well, consistent speeds. The only faults I have with the area around the green is that the bunkers are very difficult to put spin on the ball. So you want to make sure that if you're going to put it in the bunker, that you have an uphill bunker shot. Because if you have a downhill shot, it's going to be really hard to get it by the hole. And then also, if you get a little bit off the green, I found that there was a lot of crabgrass. Now the fact that this was really wet this week and that grass was really wet around the green, maybe that's why the grass couldn't have been cut that short, and it might have been playing a little bit more difficult. But if you get 6, 7, 8 feet off these greens, I found the chipping to be very difficult. This is the 18th hole. I hit a great drive right down the middle and still had a hybrid in. As you can see, I'm aiming off to the right, which I didn't want to be, but I was aiming towards the right side of the green. Apparently there's a small bunker, pot bunker up there, and I ended up in that pot bunker. I had a great round going in this back 9. I was 1 under at the time when I got into this hole. But I put it on a little pot bunker, had a downhill shot, and ended up going over the green, ended up doubling this hole to go back to 1 over. Now through this process of playing the back 9, I did run into a foursome that was pretty slow, and so we played one of the holes out of turn, and I had to go back to 17th hole. If you've never played in Thailand, that's pretty usual. When you're playing just a 1 or a 2-some, you get behind a foursome, a lot of the times the caddies will just take you forward or take you across the course, and you play a couple holes and then come back. So I came back to the 17th hole. This is a downhill par 3. That was the group in front of me, so I actually ran into them a second time. This hole, I think it was downhill, so I think it was playing somewhere around 175 yards to the pin. And then after a wait, it was my turn. A little hybrid, I hit this about 175, 180 yards. And ended up being one of the best shots of the day. So I put it right over the pin, probably about 20 feet. So a little bit long, but it's pretty thin green, and I was just happy to hit the green. I think there's only one hole on the back nine that I missed with the video, and that's hole number 12, par 3, which is, from what I remember, it was probably about a 6-iron over water. It was really nice looking hole. And when I was done, I thought I would take one last flight back to the clubhouse, so drone took off from the 17th green. Still overcast, but beautiful view. Lots of mountains. I wanted to wait until the people were moving. I don't want to bother people by flying a drone over them while they're hitting. But I really enjoyed this course. I thought the design is awesome. The condition is, I would say, not championship quality, but it's good enough for you to drive for 2 hours to play this course, because it is a fun course. Now, it may take you 2 or 3 or 4 times to learn it, just because there's a lot of hazards, there's areas where you got to lay up, there's downhill, there's uphill shots, and so you want to learn the distances properly. But for a pure golf enthusiast, it's definitely going out of your way to play here. And of course, the bungalows are a great place to stay. Maybe next time try the hotels, I'm not sure. The weakness of Dragon Hills, which is the same weakness for Grand Prix golf course. Grand Prix is my favorite golf course in Thailand so far. But both of these golf courses are pretty much out in the middle of kind of nowhere. You have to drive probably 20 kilometers to get to a town where there's, restaurants and shopping and things like that. So Dragon Hills might not be the best family area unless you like to camp out, campfire, stay in the bungalows. It might be a nice family visit, but if your wife doesn't play golf, for example, your husband doesn't play, then they're probably going to be bored for that time that you're here. But as a golf course, I loved it. That's my golf cart coming up the left there, going to the other side of the clubhouse. Already thinking about how quickly can I come back here. Plan a little bit better. We actually stopped at Dragon Hills just out of the blue. We were driving by, and I've always wanted to play Dragon Hills. I didn't even know that was on the way of where we were driving, and so we ended up stopping, staying the night, and it ended up being tremendous. Already planning the next trip. Sad to see this is over. I wish I could have played another 18 holes because I really started to get it going in the back 9. But until next time.